Hello there, friends. It's Catherine from Moon Star Lodge. I'm a shaman, a healer, teacher, wedding officiant, and director here. I've been an artist for many, many years and have a studio, and I welcome you into our space. It's the time of the full moon this week. So this is a weekly reading running from the 18th, Monday the 18th, through to the 25th of October. And the 25th of October is Owagat, which is the Iroquois Day of the Dead. But that is not going to start things, kids. The veil has been extraordinarily thin this year and early, and so a lot of information has been coming through. It's quite extraordinary. But I'd like to start with reminding you of where we are in the indigenous traditions, because I'm Algonquin Haudenosaunee and Brian is Mi'kmaq and Métis, and we have spent 45 years teaching Aboriginal arts, healing, and doing education in spirituality. So here's our medicine wheel, and as I told you last time, we were just into autumn. This is the 11th moon cycle, and now we're halfway through that moon cycle because it's full moon this week. That's where we'll be. So full moon actually occurs on October 20th at 10:56 a.m. here in North America, tiny Ontario where I am, central Ontario. And it's quite an intense moon because, as you remember, it's Walks Tall Woman. This is her month, and Walks Tall Woman is about integrity, responsibility for physicality. And I'm just going to hand my portfolio to Juan the pool boy here. Walks Tall Woman is about being attentive to body, mind, and spirit, and always be in integrity. So it's a month of truth, and if we can't find it within ourselves, those ancestors that we're connecting with, guides, teachers, angels, and archangels, will certainly bring it to our attention. So I'll ask Brian to switch the camera now to this reading, and I'm starting to use all those wonderful, spooky, seasonal decks that I showed in my previous video, and I've been tempting people on Instagram with some additional decks that have floated in, or I've retrieved in addition on my shelves. And I won't tell the entire truth here because, well, maybe I will. I actually ordered a couple more that came across my notice. So this week is several decks that I've not used before. The Shadowland Tarot by Monica Badirsky, and I'm accompanying it with her deck that's here. This is the House of Shadows Lenormand. And because I have several editions of that with all the extra cards, I actually pulled some of the extra cards out and added them in. So we have actually more than the typical 36. I'm using the small edition of the Murder of Crows Tarot. I'm using the Black Moon astrology cards, as I often do. And also one that I've never used publicly. This is the Wisdom of the House of Night by P.C. Cast, and it was co-authored by Colette Baron-Reid. It's never referenced on her videos, but this is I believe the very first deck of cards she ever authored or co-authored, and so I've brought it into today's reading. Let me move these and we will get on with it. So our principal card this week is the King of Swords in reverse. And here he is doing his late night organizing, and the King of Swords is an air card. We know swords represent air and mental energy and organized thought. And this man is normally, in his fatherly way, in control of his thoughts and very organized, very clear. But in protection here, it says, don't get just so caught up in this stuff that you lose the bigger picture. Clarity is required right from the get-go this week, because we are coming into this incredibly powerful time of spirits. And this is an Aries full moon. So that's what we have to consider here for everything. Why? Because the Page of Wands, which is a fire element, he's about travel and good fortune and moving forward on new ventures. If you're so caught up in your head, you won't get heart involved to really make the best use of this kind of adventure that's being presented to us. And this is a general reading for all of us, so this will apply to most people. So be mindful to be in a place of mental balance, balanced on your physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, and not just on what you have to do. This is where you're going, and the page has the energy and the enthusiasm, the fire and the passion in the belly to create something new this week, building with this energy that comes on Thursday, which is the middle point of not only this moon cycle, but of this week. The Ten of Swords, another swords card. Here's another swords card, very curious. The Ten of Swords is about boundaries, really. We have another card that's like that. It's Pop It. But this is about not letting yourself become overwhelmed. It's a card of defeat here. It's not death, it's defeat. You've got to let go of that which hasn't served you well in order to be able to take on this new journey. And just be careful who's holding these arrows here, these representing swords. You need to let go. This is perhaps what you should be thinking about, is how do you let go of the thing that doesn't serve you so that you can begin this new impassioned journey. The Five of Swords is about balance and support. So here we come back to more of a balance situation. So we're all flowing that way. And finally, we hit the Page of Cups. So another page card. If you can get your head in balance and not overthink things, you've got the energy of this impassioned new venture, which you should be loving. This is a loving, artistic card. This is about playing with the emotional self and creating something wonderful with that energy, and even falling in love. So get your head straight and get out of your head so that you've got the emotional wherewithal to work with this card. I'm just going to jump to this since it's right here beside the page. This is the Astrological Card, and it's the energy of Pluto, which is transformation. And I would suggest that by Thursday, you have incorporated the energy of Pluto to allow your head and heart and thoughts to balance. So this transformation, I think, is referenced here. So let me clarify these cards. So the King of Swords is clarified by rider. Rider is news, information, something coming very swiftly. And the information will help clarify what's coming here. Now the memorial card. This is an interesting card. And I'm just going to pull what Monica says about it. This is a card of legacy, remembrance, family stories, inheritance, memories, honoring your roots. Whatever you're creating with this journey is part of your legacy. So think about those things when you're in your head here. Think about what it is that you're leaving behind when you create this new impassioned journey. This card, the Ten of Swords, is clarified by the sun. The sun is going to shine, light is going to shine, illumination about what gets you out of this headspace. So if you come back to your ancestors here and get some help. When we're in the navel gazing position, we're usually disconnected from source, from spirit. So this is a way of getting connected again. This balance image is lucky. Clover is always luck. And the Page of Cups is clarified by the moon. The moon has a false face on. We need to be careful of illusions. Illusions and imbalanced emotions will cause us to lose the joy of what this is we are creating. So Pluto is the transformation card here. Now I've pulled these cards from the PD Cast deck, and this is the Murder of the Crows. So these are our totems, and these are our ancestors and shamanic bits here. So the first card is Kelowna, who is an angel of light and dark, and it's about choices. And we certainly do have choices this week. We can get muddled and navel gazing and inward gazing and overwhelmed, or we can take the passion side. We've got an opportunity here. This card is success. So apparently, in alignment with this and this, we are successfully moving through and getting ourselves in alignment. And this card is cycles, and we need to remember that about every 3 months we have the high side and a lower side, things to contend with easily and things that aren't. And this is the lunar cycle, and certainly that's very connected to the illuminating quality of this full moon, because remember, we are in Walks Tall Woman, so this is all about balancing all our thoughts, feelings, and creations to be in integrity and walking with the truth. So these totem cards are quite fascinating. We have the Nine of Pentacles, which is a success card. This is about having gathered it all, and this is a really positive omen for this particular week. We have the Knight of Wands. So here's the Page of Wands, and we're moving. We're moving. So we've taken a step up in these court cards here. Here's our moon. Here's our moon. It's quite lovely, quite beautiful. So this is about balance. And then finally, we have in this particular deck, this is the Chariot. So I think this is wonderful. Oh no, this is not the Chariot. This is the Lovers. I beg your pardon. So there you go. This is connecting. And this lovers isn't necessarily connecting two people. This is about connecting both sides of yourself, which is also represented here, making sure you don't fall off one path onto the other inappropriately. I think this is quite awesome. When I first pulled it, I wasn't especially thrilled with it. Because these are decks I don't use very often, I'm not as familiar with some of them. I mean, tarot meanings are tarot meanings, but if you look at what each author has to say about their particular deck, they get more in depth with it than I'm able to here. So this is awesome. I'm quite impressed with the beginnings of our spooky season readings, and this is great. All right. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, because it helps Google decide to give it out to the world more. And make a donation, subscribe, whatever it is. We appreciate your support. Miigwech, Niaoen, Aho.